Told in San Francisco, the Braves win the National League West. Ben Ogilvy, you just saw strike out against Mike Flanagan for the third out of the inning in the top of the ninth. But we can tell you that Milwaukee has blown it wide open. Don Money doubled to lead the inning. Charlie Moore rolled out to the shortstop. Ed Romero hit a fly ball to center. Mike Flanagan then came on in relief of Dennis Martinez after Paul Molitor singled and Robin Yount was hit by a pitch. So you had 2 out and 2 on. Then Cecil Cooper hit a double down in the corner to deliver Molitor and Yount. And then Ted Simmons rips the home run, his 23rd of the year, to make it a 10-2 ball game. Milwaukee lead in the top of the ninth inning, and when Simmons hit it, he knew it was gone. He had all of it. He stood and watched it a little bit, and it dropped way back into the crowd.
And so, with Don Sutton assured of the victory, Harvey Keene is now sending in McClure. McClure is being sent in by Harvey Keene, with Don Sutton assured of the victory. McClure himself coming off a good year. And so this Milwaukee team, which so many were so ready to give up on, as you look at Don Sutton, who in truth has been, despite all of Yount's heroics and Cooper's and all of the others, has been the dominant figure in this game. Don Sutton, the ex-Dodger, who played under Alston, played under Lasorda, who went to Houston, played down there. I was there the night he joined the Astros. It was a Monday night football game night, and he was supposed to bring the pennant to the Astros. That he didn't was not his fault. He got his opportunity today. He got his opportunity today by circumstance. We met him at breakfast. He was the coolest cat I have ever seen. You heard him deny nervousness in the interview we had with him, and indeed he showed no sign of it. Now it is left to McClure to take over and to finish the thing off. In the meantime, one has to congratulate Harvey Keene, that remarkable man who's overcome physical handicap after physical handicap, who held together through the 3-game losing stretch. And one must, as you look at Harvey, congratulate the owner, Bud Selig, the general manager, Harry Dalton, and at the same time, Baltimore, with its owner, Edward Bennett Williams, and with its general manager, Hank Peters, and maybe above all, that remarkable manager of his time, Earl Weaver. The fact that his team lost today under circumstances over which he had no control, in no sense dulls the luster of his through the years achievements as the manager of the Birds of Baltimore. Keith?
The final guess as John Shelby comes to the plate as the pinch hitter for Baltimore in the bottom of the ninth inning, hitting for Al Bumbry. Shelby, a switch hitter, will come up right-handed against the left-hander McClure. By sending in the left-hander, obviously Harvey Keene had in mind flushing some of those left-handed hitters out of the lineup, but so many of them are switch hitters on the Baltimore roster. Hitting right-handed, Shelby, a .292 average and 24 at-bats, and he promptly delivers a single sharply into left field. It is 10-2 Milwaukee. Danny Ford now will come to the plate and hit for Glenn Gulliver.
Just to watch Weaver do this to the very end, using his roster to the uttermost with that uncanny knack that's been his through the years. Even in this kind of defeat, shows you what kind of stuff he's made of. The right stuff.
Benny Ayala has now come out to the on-deck circle and apparently is going to hit for Ken Singleton, number 3 man in the order. But right now, Bob McClure must deal with Danny Ford, who came over from the California Angels. The Braves have won the National League West, will go against the St. Louis Cardinals in the National League Championship Series. California waiting for the final decision in this one. And Ford hits it high in the air, way up there, with Robin Yount settling under it and making the catch for the first out. Now just 2 outs remain for Baltimore. Benny Ayala being sent to the plate by Earl Weaver to hit for Ken Singleton. Eddie Murray comes to the on-deck circle. The American League Championship Series begins Tuesday night in Anaheim, California, 8 Eastern Time. And we'll have it on ABC. The National League will begin on Wednesday.
Number 27, Benny Ayala.
How long does it take you to drive from Sherman Oaks to Anaheim?
About an hour.
If there's no traffic.
If there's no, well, it's not that bad. 40 minutes if there's no traffic. Baltimore has stranded 10 so far in the ball game, and 7 of them over the last 4 innings. Jim Palmer was the starting pitcher. Palmer lasted 5 innings plus and will be the loser unless we have one of baseball's more historic turnarounds here. Tippy Martinez followed him in the 6th, Dennis Martinez in the 8th, Mike Flanagan in the 9th, and Flanagan was hit hard. Don Sutton went 8 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs, both earned, walked 5, struck out 3, stands to be the winning pitcher if McClure can slam the door. Sutton threw 123 pitches over the 8th inning. The pitch to Ayala is bent in there for a strike. A crowd of more than 51,000, a complete sellout here at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, and many of them are staying, I am sure.
It's just amazing the number of people who have stayed in this ballpark. Their club 8 runs down, bottom of the 9th. But they're proud of this club, and they should be.
Ayala hits a fly ball to center. Gorman Thomas coming in, and Gorman Thomas makes the catch for the 2nd out. This will be the first divisional championship for the Milwaukee Brewers in a regular season, one that's gone all the way. They won one last year, but remember, it was a strike year. This one is going to taste sweeter, I think. And Bud Selig will finally get a good night's sleep. Then on the other hand, he may not.
They'd be celebrating all night.
Cal Ripken, reflection on his face.
First baseman, Eddie Murray.
It's been a grinding sort of a season for this Baltimore club. They were in first place April 10 with a record of 2-1, and only yesterday did they move back for a share of first place against the Milwaukee club. And the pitch to Eddie Murray, now going from the right side, is inside for ball 1. Murray is a threat from both sides.
From their feeling of utter exultation yesterday and in the clubhouse before the game today, now there can only be emptiness.
Loops it to center. They're not dead yet. Shelby turns at second base and holds on after Eddie Murray's single. He hit him right on the hands with it, and he just wristed it and muscled it right on out for a base hit. And here is Gary Renicky, who shares left field with John Lowenstein. And Renicky brings power to the plate as well in the form of 21 home runs.
Your attention, please.
Hitting for Lowenstein.
I'm sure we'll see a lot of Earl Weaver in the years to come. If not in baseball in any sense, apart from his consulting job with the Birds, to whom he's attached for 2 years contractually, certainly in broadcast. And he'll lend a lot of color and excitement to that.
McClure reaches back and comes with a homer for a strike. This is the 6th pinch hitter in the last 7 Baltimore at-bats.
He uses everybody. Always has.
Change. Strike. Renicky tried to hold and couldn't. The pitch was outside, and he's trying to hang in. 2 out. 2 on. Milwaukee 10, Baltimore 2 in the bottom of the 9th. to left field. Ogilvy. Waiting. It's over. The Milwaukee Brewers have defeated the Baltimore Orioles 10-2, and they have won the American League Eastern Division Championship for 1982. A powerhouse ball club that rattled home runs all over the league, intimidated people. But in the end, they had to go to the final gasp on the last day and fight it out, gut it out with Baltimore in Baltimore.
And as you can see, they're all over Robin Yount as they were seconds ago, all over Don Sutton, and put Cecil Cooper in there too. What a team effort. There goes Cecil. And so they should be congratulated, and I think too we should congratulate the Atlanta Braves for their victory in the National League West, Keith.
So finally, the Brewers can pop the champagne with true and genuine feeling as Bud Selig has come down.
That's Bud Selig, yep.
To hug Cecil Cooper. 3 big defensive plays by Coop at first base. The hitting of Robin Yount, 2 home runs and a triple. And the pitching of Don Sutton, with McClure coming in to get it, and they survive September against Baltimore without Raleigh Fingers. So there's the line score as Sutton wins it to go 4-1 with Milwaukee. Palmer loses at 15-5. Back after this message and the word from our local station.
When it comes to three-wheelers, the choice is simple. Whether you're picking for work or picking for play, just pick the Honda ATZ.
Follow the leader, he's on a Honda.
When you're a big guy like me, people always want to see just how strong you are. So after this arm works, this arm always relaxes with light beer from Miller. The light's got 1/3 less calories than the regular beer, and it tastes great. What I like about it, it's less filling. So when you're in a hot match like this, you can't afford to get filled up.
You have any time?
Yeah. About 8:30.
Yeah, thanks.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer. And less.
Next.
Why is the record industry crying the blues? Monday, watch ABC's World News Tonight.
When people ask what it's like being a movie critic, I usually say it's like covering the national dream beat. The movies people go to reflect the national state of mind.
They also do the exact opposite thing, Gene. They reflect what people don't want to think about, what kinds of escape they're trying to find.
So, on this side of the aisle, I'm Gene Siskel.
And over here on the right side of the aisle, I'm Roger Ebert, and that's why we do At the Movies, the weekly movie review program.
Late night tonight, only on Channel 7. Hunting the Wolf of the Bayou starting Monday at 6.
You are bearing witness to one of the most remarkable scenes maybe that you will ever see in sport. Yes, the fans have stayed. They have stayed to cheer and to honor the retiring manager of the Birds of Baltimore, a man who in 15 years has become an absolute legend. The defeat will hurt. There's Harvey Keene over to congratulate him, and Earl Weaver is crying, and you can understand it. Very rarely has there been a scene like this, if ever. These people of this city, a city that has become a beautiful city under a brilliant mayor with an inner harbor equivalent of Boston, and that's Edward Bennett Williams, the owner, the great criminal attorney. And there they are standing and chanting, all of them in unison. And the sign says it all. Goodbye, Earl, and you deserve it. You've been one of the greatest managers in the history of the game. Let the picture speak now.
So the roar goes on from the appreciative fans of Baltimore for Earl Weaver, who in 12 of the 15 seasons as manager here won 90 or more games. ABC's World News Tonight, immediately following tonight's telecast at 6:30. It is indeed a stirring tribute that more than 51,000 people stayed. Even though their team was losing 10-2, they stayed to cheer Earl Weaver and the Orioles.